All right, everyone, welcome back to another one. Today we're testing the Blazar Remus Anamorphic lenses, the 1.5x. This is a 3-lens set. There's a 45, a 65, and a 100 mil. Both the 45 and the 65 are T2, and the 100 mil is T2.8. Disclaimer, this is just a quick test we made with a director friend of mine, and we had a meeting, and he had just received the lenses a few days prior, so we basically just slapped them on the camera. We shot open gate raw on the Mini and just tested them wide open because we might actually shoot the project on those lenses, and we just wanted to see like the full look that we could achieve with those wide open. Definitely not like the most scientific test you'll get. It's just my quick first impression of those lenses. I know a lot of people shoot anamorphic, stopping down a little bit, T4 and up, but not in this review. Let's go straight into the tests. So this is the 45 mil at T2. This lens is probably the cleanest out of the set. Center sharpness is pretty good. And chromatic aberrations are kept to a somewhat decent amount. It's not too in your face. I will say, however, that the focus breathing is pretty noticeable. You'll see the focus breathing here. I like the flaring. So this is the amber version, not the blue version. I would assume the blue version is a little bit more extreme in terms of flaring. I'm glad that he picked the amber ones because I think they're a little bit more subtle. In terms of anamorphic characteristics on the 45, I kind of like the softness in the corners. They look pretty good. There's a little bit, the bokeh is quite interesting. There's a little bit of swirl. I know this is not like the most efficient way to test the lenses on like a wide backdrop, but we tried to put some texture and you can actually see, let me just go back a little bit. You can actually see a little bit of swirl, a little bit of those nice anamorphic characteristics that you can get out of these lenses. Now let's jump onto the 65. So don't mind me in the background trying to flare. 65, the center is a little bit softer, as you would expect going up in focal length, but it's a little softer. Still manageable. I think the 45 and the 65 would match pretty well if you have like an, interview setup and you have two cameras. This would work pretty well. 65, the chromatic aberration, as you can see on here, is a lot more noticeable. If you take away the chromatic aberration, I think the 65 is probably the happy medium in terms of sharpness and anamorphic characteristics. I think it looks pretty good, probably my favorite. As you can see here, up there, where there's a hot spot, you can see the chromatic aberration coming up. I don't really mind, and that's to be expected from anamorphic and wide open. You can see the focus breathing is a little bit more controlled on this lens. Still present, but a little bit more controlled compared to the 45. And as you can see, like here, we're not anywhere close minimum focus distance, but it's, you can see the on my IKEA fake flower that it's kind of bloomy, and I kind of like that look. Of course, depending on the project, you might not want this look, but this is the purpose of this video, so you can see what they look like. Chromatic aberration pretty strong. Focus breathing kept to a minimum, I think. So this is the 100. Now the 100 mil, pretty cool focal length for anamorphic. Really soft, wide open. T2.8, so this one is a little slower than the other two, but really soft at 100 mil, wide open, which is again expected as you go up in focal length. But I would say this is probably, in my opinion, the hardest to match to the other two. You might have to add some diffusion on the 45 or 65 to get close to this look. So you can see, like, we tried our best to focus, but it's still pretty soft. We might have messed up a little bit, to be honest, because we didn't test them for too long, but this is the best we did. You can see the focus breathing here. I think the focus breathing is pretty controlled here. Still pretty present, but I think on par with the 65, I would say. Yeah. So what do I think about those lenses? In terms of image quality, I think out of the bunch, the 45 is definitely the cleanest. 65 is like a happy medium, and 100 is most like the one with the most, I don't want to say flaws, but like strong characteristics. I think it goes to like your personal preferences. I like my anamorphic lenses to be visually different from like spherical lenses. So I don't mind a little bit of softness. I don't mind a little bit of funkiness all over the place. I think the 100 would be like the hardest to use in like a more commercial, clean, high key, corporate kind of look, just because it's so soft, wide open. I think the 45, you can use it essentially wherever you want, unless the chromatic aberrations are too much for you, or you need to do like massive focus pull. Compared to like other entry-level anamorphics that I've had the chance to test, like the nanomorphs, I think I like those better just because the look is a little bit more pronounced. I think the size is pretty cool. Definitely not an issue for gimbal work if you want to do that, or even handheld. You're not ending up with like those massive anamorphic lenses. The price is pretty attractive too. I think they go for like around like sub $1,000 each, so it's pretty affordable. Now, would I use them? Yes, definitely. If you find a way to match the 100 to the other two, I think you're in a pretty good space for anamorphic, especially with price point, size, and weight and everything that we've mentioned earlier already. If we end up using those lenses on the upcoming project that we have, I might post some screens of those, or like even the full video, just so you guys can like see what they look like in a proper scenario, right? All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.